All right, so this is going to be an In the Know interview with Paula Hollywood. All right, Paula, let's talk about the impact that the industrial Internet of Things has on asset management.
It's curious, Russ, because the industrial Internet of Things is going to change the way we do a lot of things. And certainly asset management is the initial target. I think there are several reasons for that. First is the opportunity for suppliers to develop new service business models around what they sell, around their products. So they will no longer just be selling a product and the owner-operator is responsible for using it and maintaining it, but the supplier will now sell the asset as a service, be that a pump or a compressor or whatever that might happen to be, but you are buying the service. You don't actually own the asset anymore. The supplier will own the asset and you pay on an as-you-go basis, whether that's a monthly basis or whatever contract terms that you have with the supplier. And so that's going to be a big change. I think that one of the things that's going to happen under IIoT is that we're going to be monitoring and gathering a lot more data on assets. In my opinion, asset management is actually the epitome of big data. And if you think of General Electric making quotations about how much data a jet engine generates in an hour, it's enormous, terabytes of data. So we need new solutions to make sense of all that data too, to tell us what to do with that asset. How long can we sustain that asset and continue to produce good product, quality product, or when can we take it down at the most opportune time for ourselves in terms of planning and scheduling as well as financially? Can we limp along with this for a little while until our next shutdown, or do we need to shut this down immediately? So those are the kinds of things that are going to happen. And the reason that asset management is going to become so important. One of the other things that I see happening that's a little further down the line will be the application of virtual reality to asset management. And it will be in terms of training, in terms of safety, where we can actually use the digital models created under IIoT to practice and become proficient at the tasks at hand before we actually attempt them. And it's safer for the plant as well as the employee, and it gives us some practice to go out there and perform these tasks when we need to. So we already know what we need to do.
This isn't a question, this is a comment. Nobody has addressed the asset as a service until you did. I find that fascinating because, for instance, heretofore, if an expensive pump went down, you might have to have something like that in your inventory or whatever, or have some kind of arrangement to have that delivered right away. Now that asset is owned by the person that is providing the service. So not only do they have to be able to collect the data to know when that pump is going to go down, it's on them to actually provide that thing because they own it. Is that right?
That's correct. That's correct. That's what's going to happen.
That's a major change.
Major shift. I think that there's a lot of product providers out there right now struggling with this question. How do we present this, number one, to our customers? How do we develop a model to deliver this successfully for both themselves and their customers? And what's going to change, I think, will be that suppliers now have skin in the game. If they're responsible for the asset, they have skin in the game, and they're going to pay much more attention to the performance of that asset. Otherwise, they won't get paid. On these performance-based contracts, if you cannot perform the service as provided for in the contract, you won't get paid. So skin in the game is a major change.